a crime. The other case involving the Wisconsin judge is a bit equivocal, in my view. An administrative warrant is not an arrest warrant. No judge would recognize an administrative warrant. So she's on the bench. There's a commotion in the hallway involving the person who is in front of her, the defendant who's in front of her, for some sort of a low-level assault and battery. She goes out to see what the commotion is, and they say, we're here to arrest this guy. And she basically says, well, you're not going to interrupt with my proceeding. We don't permit arrests in the courtroom. You can wait in the hallway, or you can wait for him outside. Let me see your arrest warrant. We don't have one. They have this administrative warrant, which is basically one ICE agent authorizing another ICE agent to detain someone. So I don't think there's a crime here. I think she has immunity. She can decide how a person leaves her courtroom. On the other hand, I understand how the feds want to make a big deal out of this. They don't like anyone, least of all judges, interfering with the orderly process of arresting people. I just think this was the wrong one for them to do. And then they showed pictures of her in handcuffs and all that kind of stuff, which is a violation of several regulations.
It was FBI Director Kash Patel taking to X on here, stating this about the topic of the former New Mexico judge, saying, quote, we believe Judge Dugan intentionally misdirected federal agents away from the subject to be arrested in her courthouse. Eduardo Flores Ruiz allowing the subject, an illegal alien, to evade arrest. And he added, quote, thankfully our agents chased down the perp on foot, and he's been in custody since. But the judge's obstruction created increased danger to the public. To any of anyone else watching that doesn't have a legal background, you can kind of understand what he's saying.
Oh yes, I can understand both sides. He did run away, and they did have to chase him. And the reason he ran away is because he didn't go out the doorway to the courtroom from which he entered, on the other side of which they were waiting for him. He went out another way.
But how did he know that? They're alleging that the judge told him how to get out.
Well, they'd have to have some proof for that. I don't know if this fellow speaks English, but I think they overreached by arresting her. If there's an issue in a white-collar case with a public official, like there was here in New York with Mayor Adams, you don't stop him on the street and put handcuffs on him. You say to his lawyer, we need to talk to you about whether or not you will voluntarily surrender because we're about to charge you with a crime. But because they're on a bit of a jihad against judges, they decided to make an example out of this. I think this is the wrong case out of which to make an example. I think she has immunity. She can decide where a person leaves her courtroom from and what she says to that person, and she can't be prosecuted for it. But we'll see. This will be resolved in a federal court. They persuaded I read the affidavit that the FBI agent submitted to the magistrate, which justified the arrest warrant for her. There never was an arrest warrant for this fellow, but there obviously was an arrest warrant for her. And they believe they have enough evidence with which to convict her.
We just watched that press conference as we're leading up to the first 100 days of Donald Trump. Something they were really focusing on was immigration, and something that the legacy media has been attacking the Trump administration for was deporting children, or allegedly deporting children. There was a pretty big case about children that went to go live with their mothers in Honduras, and the Trump administration is saying now, hey, that was on the mother's request that we sent those children to Honduras. We're not deporting children without parents. Can you clear that up?
One case, sure. The one case that we're talking about, the husband is an American citizen, born here. The wife is an illegal alien. The baby of the husband and wife was born here. So the baby's an American citizen, and they go to deport the wife. Why would you break up a family? Why would you deport the wife? Okay, she's illegal, but she's not a public threat. She's raising her kid. This is why you're supposed to have hearings, so a judge can decide what's in the better interest of the child, an American citizen, to stay with the father or to leave with the mother. Or why do you really want to bust up this family? Go get a gang member rather than this lady who's living as a housewife in the United States to raise the baby. But there was no hearing. So now the husband says he wants the baby back. Well, he can go and get the baby because the baby's an American citizen and he's an American citizen. The government says the mother decided she wanted the baby to stay with her. Under the law, that's for a judge to decide. what's in the best interests of the baby.
All right. Holman was very clear about that, at least for the administration. He said that it's unfortunate, but that's the choice that she made. If she's here illegally, and here are the unfortunate consequences that follow.
Did they ask him why they were deporting this mother? What is the allegation against her other than being here illegally for 2 years?
Breaking that crime code that he always seemingly knows right off the top of his head. That was the one, again, as he always continues to cite.
I'm actually a fan of Tom Holman. We've known each other for years, even though we don't always agree on everything. He's a great guy, and he's doing what the president wants him to do.
And he's just up there ad-libbing, too, which he's just going off of all these bullet points right off the top of his head and just no fear. And it was interesting. He's got 40 years of experience with securing the border. But again, that marking day 99 tomorrow, Scott Bessent, the Treasury Secretary. This will happen at the same time tomorrow. Judge Knapp, good to see you.
Pleasure.
Good to see you, Judge.
Well, some newly launched Democratic hopefuls vying for key House and Senate seats, resorting to